cut one, go.
My name is Jackie Esslinger. I am on the platform committee and from Vance County. I would like to make sure we do not take the sections out of Article 1 family on midwives that's in the 2013 platform. I would like it to remain on the 2014 platform.
That's that motion is not going to work. Does the gentle lady have proposed language to add? We're voting on a platform. Does the gentle lady have a proposed amendment to the proposed platform that we have?
It's in the current platform. And this is to take out and completely change.
No, the chair disagrees. This is a proposed platform. This platform has been offered to this convention without regard to any previous platforms. This is not a proposed amendment. This is a proposed platform. If the gentle lady wishes to amend the proposed platform, she must propose an amendment.
I propose an amendment to Article 1, number 5. We support that. It's not in this one, but you did approve it. It was online. Okay, it was number 8. We support certified professional midwives attending home births. And it is in 2013 platform.
The gentle lady wishes to amend the proposed platform by adding to Article 1 family a new paragraph 5 to read, we support certified professional midwives attending home births. Is there a second to this proposed amendment?
Mr. Chairman, I object to the consideration.
Gentlemen.
This is a parliamentary trick that was on display a lot at the 2014 convention.
Objection to consideration. Objection to consideration is a parliamentary maneuver. Someone rise to a point of order? Doesn't matter. Objection to consideration takes precedence. The gentleman will be suspended. Objection to consideration is in order when another has the floor. The chair has recognized the second. The objection to consideration is allowed even when someone has the floor and is required to be made with immediacy before any discussion is made. The gentleman has moved correctly. Motion objection to consideration is a parliamentary move that for whatever reason, if a member of a body believes the discussion of something would be problematic for whatever reason, then he would object even to considering it. The motion is not amendable, it is not debatable, it does require an immediate vote. It does require a 2/3 vote, and the question is called on whether or not to consider the proposed amendment. Those voting yes are voting to consider the proposed amendment. Those voting no are voting not even to consider, simply to move on. It requires 2/3 in the negative for the objection to be sustained.
Okay. So what we had happen was we took a voice vote. The voice vote was very close, and to his credit, the convention chairman, Billy Miller, who, in my opinion, has always done a good job at the conventions as the chairman / parliamentarian and being fair to both sides. He decided that the voice vote was close, so he went to a stand-in vote. And so he did the stand-in vote, and I must say I was very pleased that 3 of the 5 members on the current chairman at the time, Claude Pope's executive board, voted with the convention delegates to consider the midwives amendment. I know 2 of the people. I don't know the 3rd one, but the 2 people I want to give credit for is Vice Chairwoman Carolyn Justice and Secretary Ann Sullivan. Okay, so 2/3 vote was needed to object to hearing the amendment. So the vote count was 151 wanted to hear the amendment. I voted that way. Not necessarily because I agree with the certified midwives amendment, but more so because the body voted on it in 2012 and 2013, and it was taken off both times when it should have stayed on the platform. So we had 151 wanted to hear the amendment, 244 opposed hearing the amendment, 2/3 was not obtained to oppose hearing the amendment. So therefore, we go into debate with the certified midwives amendment. So here we go. Cut 2.
Recognizing the maker of the motion for a time not to exceed 2 minutes.
Jackie Essinger again from Vance County. The reason I brought this back up and won it in 2014, in 2013, it was in the platform. In 2012, we are all elected officials from our county, and we elected to put it in the platform in 2013. The committee took it out. We elected again in 2013 to put it in. The committee took it out. We, the people, are the election body for how the Republican Party should be in their platform. We, the people that came to conferences in 2012 and 2013, wanted it in the platform. So I would like to blacken it back in the platform because we are elected from our county to represent them.
Sure, thank you, lady. Recognizing this.
And now we're going to have Mary Jo Shepard on once again. And she tries to smooth things over. Let's see.
Speaking in opposition, recognizing first the chairman of the committee.
So this issue, as you can imagine, was debated extensively in committee, really extensively in committee. And so we came up with new language. If you look at Article 1, number 3, it says, we affirm the sovereignty of parental rights over children's welfare from conception to emancipation. That would include birth. Okay, so that means that this language actually makes this provision broader and stronger than just having the midwife provision in there. It also protects parental rights. Say your child gets sick and the hospital wants to take your child away somewhere and treat them some way you don't want them to be treated. It affirms your parental rights over your children regardless, whether it's midwives or any other medical issues, from conception to emancipation. So in my opinion, and the opinion of the majority of the platform committee, this language makes it much stronger than just having the midwife provision in there. And it gives parents just that strength that they need. Thank you. Point of information.
Miss Mary Jo Shepard. I would say this little, what do you call it? No, it'll come to me here. This little kabuki theater that you did with the platform, it makes it sound essentially you put a bunch of words in there that have nothing to do with at-home births. I mean, this is way too general. It's not specific enough. And the platform is supposed to, I always look at the platform as a marketing document for the Republican Party. In other words, if I were trying to get more active politically or want to know more about what's going on in the world, current events, what one person should do is, hey, they should go to the Republican Party website, the state Republican Party website, heck, even the county would be even better. Look for the copy of the Republican platform and see, okay, do I agree with this or do I not agree with this? And then look at the Democratic platform. Do I agree with this or do I not agree with this? And then look at the Libertarian platform to say, do I agree with this or do I not agree with this? If I do agree with the Libertarian Party platform, do I really want to be one of the cranky 2 to 5% who always cost Republicans elections, you know? So here we are now. Let's continue this debate.
Someone rises for a point of information.
Emily Hyde, Rockingham County. Was her amendment not an addition instead of a substitution?
The gentlelady asked, and in fact, in the opinion of the chair, it would be an addition.
So the language.
The gentlelady will suspend. The chair has answered the question. It would be an addition to the language present. The chair thanks the gentlelady. Delegates wishing to speak in support of the proposal.
I would second.
Recognize the gentlelady.
Emily Haddock, Rockingham County. This is a very personal issue for me, and it's not only a women's right issue, it's a freedom and liberty issue. There's been a war on midwives in the past several years, and many midwives in North Carolina are not allowed to work anymore, and a woman should have a right to choose where she has her child, and this should be highlighted in the platform. Thank you.
You tell him, Bob. You tell her, Bob Barker. She's a winner. Okay, now we have Thomas Hill from Gates County. Thomas Hill is a wonderful, wonderful county chairman. He is a patriot. He is a person who essentially started his county party from scratch in Gates County, which is one of the smallest and most rural counties in the state of North Carolina. He was one of the counties that went from blue to red in the last in 2016 presidential election. So you want to talk about a man who I respect a lot and look up to. Here is Thomas Hill.
Someone rises to a point of personal privilege.
I am Thomas Hill, Gates County. The committees are overreaching. County chair.
The gentleman was, and here's the gentleman wishes to debate. Does the gentleman have a point of personal privilege?
I just have one question.
And does the gentleman has a point of information? Because he rose to a point of privilege, which is different. Does the gentleman have a point of personal privilege?
Let me ask a very specific question with a point of information. What power does the committees have to overtake the body's vote to take away or to add to the...
The gentleman suspends the opinion of the chair. The gentleman is entering into debate under the great ruse of the point of personal privilege and then under the ruse of a point of information. Chair thanks the gentleman. Gentleman rises to a point of information. And once again...
Okay, that person who you really can't hear that well is a good friend of mine, and I wish he would have gone to the microphone. His name is Jay Vicks. At the time he was living in Brunswick County. We were very good friends. He lived about 20-30 minutes from me. And he sort of mentioned the same thing Thomas Hill did, but I thought I'd give him a shout out in this video. And I hope he, I believe he went unaffiliated or libertarian, but I hope he can get involved again in the Republican Party. He lives in Virginia now. However, he lives in the good part of Virginia, the very conservative part. He lives in South Boston, Virginia, right there, just over the North Carolina line, so he can be involved in politics in 2 states. Kind of like what I want to do when I Lord willing, move back to North Carolina and move to Greensboro in the summer of 2018. I want to kind of be involved in both the North Carolina Republican Party and the Virginia Republican Party. They both have very good open business. What am I trying to say? Plan of organization, that's it. Whereas Florida does not. So, just so you know. Here we go. I'm going to play more of this.
Here would clarify what appears to remain as a confusion. The committee is proposing a platform. They're not proposing amendments to an existing platform. They're proposing a platform. They have written a platform for the consideration of this convention. So, in the opinion of the chair, the committee has not undone anything. The committee has put together a document. Portions of that document reflect past documents, portions do not. But they're not proposing amendments, and they haven't changed anything. They're proposing a platform for this convention to consider. This convention is considering it. And if the convention doesn't like what's been proposed by the committee, the convention has the authority to amend the proposal. But it is not any indication of overreach of the committee to propose a document for consideration. Chair, thank you, gentlemen, for your point of information.
You know, I'd say there's so much red tape and corruption on these committees. It just really makes me sick. And by the way, if you're involved in North Carolina Republican Party or want to get involved, I highly recommend getting involved in the Platform Committee. Is one of those kind of committees. The ones that are really can be effective are Plan of Organization, Rules, and Plan of Organization and their rules. Resolutions and Platform Committee are okay, but it would more be worth your while to do Plan of Organization and Rules. Credentials Committee is one of those ones that I honestly don't recommend, because what happens with the Credentials Committee is you do your work at the convention. What that means is you're in a room off stage. You do not get to hear or listen to the elected officials speak, or any other guest speakers at the convention may have. And what else am I thinking? Gosh. Okay, you're off stage. You do not know. Okay, you're off stage, can't hear anything. And you don't get to go to any breakout sessions. No central committee meeting. It's just all you're locked in this room. And when I was on Credentials Committee in 2014, and fortunately I had my laptop with the Wi-Fi there, because otherwise it was a very boring time. And there's the workload. I was one of the newcomers, so I guess they didn't really. It's one of the few times I really wasn't welcome in the Republican Party as a worker, even though I was on the Credentials Committee. Really, nobody gave me really any work to do, even though I asked. So that's that. Okay, the Certified Midwives Amendment. There was a debate on how long the Certified Midwives train is. There's also a valid point, too, that a lot of the counties out in the mountains have to go out of county to see an OBGYN. Okay, so we took a vote on the Midwife Amendment. Okay, this was whether or not to have it on the 2014 platform. There was a voice vote, and then we went to a stand-in vote, and unfortunately the amendment failed. So now we moved on to another amendment to the platform. It was proposed by Steve Radnor of Beaufort County. And what he proposed was to add the phrase affordable energy and repeal the national ethanol mandate, as well as the EPA carbon mandates and the state renewable energy mandate. The objection to consideration trick was used again. Fortunately, 2/3 majority vote was not obtained, and the energy amendment was considered for debate. It passed overwhelmingly with a voice vote. Now, the only one who said no was actually a good friend of mine, Michael Lyons of Macon County, and basically his opposition to it was because he lives in the mountains and he's opposed to fracking. Okay, so, and we have an appearance by Matt Overby of Wake County. He's a person I really don't like very much. He's always in a hurry, and he loves to call quorum at the conventions and the executive committee meetings, and of course he always likes to call the question too to stop debate. Me on the other hand, I love long business sessions, I love long debate, and I'm never one of those people who does the quorum call or the call the question. Okay, so now I'm going to move to cut 4. Here we go.
And we return. Who seeks the floor? Mr. Chairman, recognize the gentleman. Would it be appropriate to debate in favor of the platform as a whole right now? It's always, Representative Scanlon has already done. There's always an order to do so. Okay, gentlemen, will suspend. We return to discussion of the platform as a whole. Previous questions and motion requiring a delegate to obtain the floor, simply yelling out in the room a question is not acceptable. And the same with yelling out anything without the first obtaining the floor is not an acceptable parliamentary practice. So, recognizing the gentleman.
Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman, please state his name and county resident.
Matt Overby, Wake County. Yesterday, when I received this document, I read through the platform. Hopefully everybody here has had time to read through the platform, especially yesterday. We had plenty of time last night. As I was reading through it, I'm just like everyone else here. I am very opinionated. I think everybody in this room is very opinionated. As I was reading through it, I thought of probably, half dozen changes. That would be great. And I thought, well, tomorrow I might make an additional sentence here or add something great. And I didn't really disagree with anything, at least not majorly. But I thought, there are some good changes here or there. And then I stopped and thought about it after the end of yesterday's session, in which we only got through one of the articles of changes to the plan of organization. And I realized, people are always complaining that we don't get time to accomplish the business of the convention. And they say that they don't get to consider it because it gets kicked to the executive committee. The reason it gets kicked to the executive committee in large part is because people come up to make changes that are not necessary. There are good changes that could be made to this document, but they do not need to be made to this document. This is a good document that represents the broad view, represents the three pillars of conservatism that Reagan talked about. It's a strong focus on each. I'm happy with this document. I did not call the question at this time in case there's someone in line with a huge, major issue with this platform that they feel they needed to address. But please, if it's not something that is a fundamental change. Okay, thank you. Time to expire. Sure, thanks.
Okay. Well, he makes the point that, well, people are always complaining that we don't do the whole business of the convention. We've run out of time. Well, I would tell you two big things that should change at the convention, Mr. Overby. One, how about more time to do the convention business? Which, fortunately, 2015, they moved the... Okay. Saturday is like an all-day business session. Friday, the breakout sessions, okay, at 2014 convention were on Saturday morning. They've moved them now to Friday morning. So you have all-day business sessions Saturday morning, and business on Friday starts about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, now that's a good thing. Another issue is credentials. Credentials almost always has a snafu. Now, in 2014, what happened was they went to electronic system and it sped things up. We still had a little bit of a delay, but it was generally about 15 minutes instead of about 45 minutes to an hour. I always recommend at the convention you bring a book in case the credentials delay is long. And then I heard in 2016 that they had other big problems with the credentials. So my proposal for the convention is to, and by the way, shameless plug alert, if you're a North Carolina Republican and you want to submit this on the convention website for the 2017 convention, please go ahead and go to the NCGOP convention website and submit the following idea. My idea is to start the convention, what am I trying to... Okay. Do credentials one time for the convention. Okay. What that'll do is it'll I'm trying to think here. Okay. If you're not registered at the convention by noon on Friday, okay, you will not be able to be a delegate at the convention, and do one big credentials report on Friday afternoon, and then on Saturday you can have a nice, long, uninterrupted business session. Okay, that's one of my proposals. Okay, now we're going to have Tom Heitman of New Hanover County, who is going to oppose Matt Overby here. And I have to say that Mr. Heitman had a great performance at this year's convention. Now, I will, however, say that I have had issues with him in the past for trying to overthrow the chairwoman Rhonda Amoroso of New Hanover County Republican Party. And then he also gave me a lousy, I think, $1.12 tip when I delivered pizza to his house. But, in his defense, I do not think he knew me. So, here we go, Tom Heitman.
Further delegates seeking the floor at this time. Opposition. There's a opposition to the platform, because there is no opposition. So, recognize the gentleman.
Tom Heitman, New Hanover County. We are here, as he was speaking, to do our business. We're trying to do that now. To say, well, hey, look.
Gentleman will suspend. It appears that the gentleman wishes to.
Okay. Now, the Chairman Miller on this one, and also Thomas Gates, I don't necessarily agree with, but again, I guess he's trying to hold order, so I don't know. Okay. Now we're going to move on to Cut 5, and we're going to go into a debate on gambling. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Aaron Littleville, Jackson County. Move to amend Article 5, number 4.
In what fashion?
I believe it should read, government should not discourage honest, productive work. While we oppose gambling, we affirm the rights of the individual.
The gentleman wishes to change the second sentence to read, while we oppose gambling, we
affirm the rights of the individual.
Does the gentleman have that in writing?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so now what happens again is we have another objection to consideration of the amendments. Needed 2/3 to stop debate. Thankfully, the objection to consideration failed. And now we're going to proceed with the debate on the amendment. Here we go.
First, the maker of the amendment for time not to exceed 2 minutes.
Thank you, sir. First and foremost, I'll say I'm happy to be here at Harrah's Sheraton Casino, where we are meeting for this convention. I'll say that this facility provides jobs, thousands of jobs for the local economy. It has pulled citizens out of poverty, and I think for us to make a platform that would kill jobs is against our Republican way of life. Secondly, the current platform would stand against the state lottery. I myself have been a recipient of grants from the state lottery, which has allowed me to afford education. I recently graduated in Jackson County from Western Carolina University. Also, my wife is a recipient of this aid, as are many other students. And in order to, if we're going to oppose the state lottery, we're also going to oppose the opportunities that it opens up for those that would otherwise be unable to further their education and become contributing members of their society. And if it would be considered by the floor, I would be in favor of saying that we oppose illegal gambling.
Gentleman may not debate and then suddenly offer an amendment.
I withdraw that with retraction.
Don't withdraw retraction. I don't even know what that means. I'm not certified in that level. This time the chair would recognize anyone wishing to speak in opposition.
Mr. Chairman.
Recognize the gentleman to the chair's right.
Hi, Patrick Mills, Mecklenburg County. While I understand what the gentleman is saying, that it benefits some people with jobs, that it benefits some students with education, this is a party platform, this is a big picture thing, and there are many of people down below us right now with their lives being ruined, with money that they need to buy food, to pay rent, to take care of things, and they're stuck to that machine, putting their little card in there, losing their money. This is not how we help people. This is not how we grow the economy in North Carolina. No offense to our great hosts, but I was in opposition of this convention even being here because we are split on the lottery, on the gambling issue, in some other counties. Thank you.
Sure, thank you, gentlemen. Recognizing speakers who wish to speak in favor.
Now, this last speaker that you just heard, first he comes across as a bit of a like a crybaby. I mean, there's this whole thing that about free will and the gambling, having it is a way for people to have free will, give, and also, I mean, this casino out in Western North Carolina has really helped the economy out there, because otherwise there's really nothing as far as jobs out there. And of course, then, but at the very end, he went from crybaby to somebody who makes a valid point that the convention should have never been held in a venue with slot machines, because in the party platform it says we oppose gambling. We, the Republican Party of North Carolina, oppose gambling. Okay? Here we go now. Now we're going to hear from Mr. Phil Strack, who is my favorite convention committee chairperson.
Mr. Chairman, to what purpose the gentleman rise? To make a motion for previous question on the platform as a whole. Recognizing the gentleman. Gentleman, please state his name. Phil Strack, Wake County. I move the previous question on the platform. The previous question is moved on the platform. Is there a second to the motion? Previous question. This gentleman here. Can't read that far, sir. Chair, thanks, gentlemen. Previous question is moved and seconded. We'll now take a vote of whether or not to end debate on the whole platform and vote on the platform as a whole as amended. All those in favor of ending debate on the platform and voting on the platform, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Chair, the ayes have it. The previous question is ordered. We now move into an immediate vote on the platform as amended this afternoon. Those voting in the affirmative are voting to adopt the platform as amended. Those voting in the negative, obviously, are voting not to adopt the platform as amended. All those in favor of the platform as amended, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. And being chair, the ayes have it. The platform is adopted.
I think this, I said no, but I wasn't the guy on here, because my voice is a lot deeper. He was like, no, kind of thing. Okay, now what happened at the convention is we go into resolutions, and I used to have a at the convention they give you like a blue book of all the resolutions typed word for word, and yeah. Now I will say that I listened to the whole convention audio, and what I got from that was they had a resolution honoring Jack Hawk, who unfortunately passed away about 3 years ago now. He was an advisor to the Governor Pat McCrory campaign 2012. And he was also the North Carolina Republican Party chair from 1987 to 1995. What is significant about that time period is the Republicans, they flipped the governor seat from Democrat to Republican for one term. His name was, gosh, what was the guy? Garner, think of it. Gosh, I can't remember. What's significant about the governor was, especially down in the Wilmington, Brunswick County area, is he directed a lot of money towards widening U.S. Highway 17, which is an important economic corridor in eastern North Carolina. He also, Jim Martin was the governor. Okay. He also got U.S. I-40 finished, the Raleigh to Wilmington portion. He was governor from 84 to 92. 85 to 93, somewhere in there. And also, the Republicans picked up the House, the state House, in the 1994 election, too. And what they were able to do then was push Jim Hunt, who was elected governor in 92. they pushed him to the right, and they repealed the sales tax on food, which unfortunately was put back in by Democratic Governor Mike Easley in the 2000s, and unfortunately has not been repealed since that date, even though the Republicans now have the state legislature now. Then in Amendment 10, we have a resolution honoring Robin Spence, who passed away in 2013. She served as a Republican, and she served as the Rutherford County Clerk of Court. And we also have a resolution on the Second Amendment. And there's about 7 resolutions that the committee decided to, they presented them to the body as a whole, and the body voted on them and decided to let them pass without having debate. My thing about the resolutions is, I don't know. I would rather have debate, but then again, I don't know. That one, okay. We did have somebody who asked a question on Robin Spence, and they asked what high school in Mecklenburg County did she go to. And what the committee did was they, Billy Miller and the resolutions chair Marilyn Avila and Jeff Nixon said they were going to find out and then put it in the resolution permanently. Okay, now we have this.
To produce evidence in a court case on the grounds that the evidence is secret information that would harm national security or foreign relations interests if disclosed, and the FISA Amendments Act to make it clear that blanket surveillance of the Internet activity, phone records, correspondence, electronic, physical, and otherwise of any person residing in the U.S. is prohibited by an express constitutional prohibition.
Mr. Chairman?
What purpose does Gentlelady Rice?
I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the reading.
That would be wonderful. Chair's about to have to stop anyway, because one call for our left. Without objection, the chair will dispense with the reading the resolution. Is there objection to dispense with the reading? Seeing none, we'll order that. The resolutions have been available online for 30 days and in Douglas packets since the beginning of the commission. We are.
This is the funniest moment in the entire convention weekend, and it'll be a classic, something I'll remember for years to come. That particular moment that you just listened to. And what happened was they decided to just read, instead of reading the whole resolution, they read the whereas clause. But on these particular resolutions, the whereas clause, which is usually like a paragraph, is like half the page. And there were about, I think, 10 of these resolutions. So you can imagine, yeah, a lot of reading. The chair's vocal cords are getting tired. So now here we go. Brace yourself. The dreaded quorum call.
The question then is on the adoption of resolutions 3, 4, 5.
Mr. Chairman?
Gentlelady will suspend 6, 7, 11, and 12. That is the motion before the convention. To what purpose does the gentlelady rise?
Mr. Chairman.
Recognize the gentleman.
Charles Newman, Lincoln County. I suggest the absence of a quorum.
This time, Sergeant Arms will immediately bar the doors. No delegates will be allowed out of the convention hall this time. Need a Sergeant Arms at every door. Delegates will not be allowed out of the convention hall at this time. Teller committee will please immediately report to the front.
Okay, the quorum call. Lock the doors. Everybody sit down. And we have the moment of truth.
Sergeant Arms will please remain stationed at all the doors. No delegates will be allowed to leave at this time. With 360 delegates present on the floor, quorum is present. We will continue. In
the background there, you have Kim Cotton West, who is cheering. loudly that we're going to continue business at the convention, and I was very pleased with her on that. At the time, she was somebody who I really respected a lot in the NCGOP, but unfortunately, 2 years later, she voted for the oust of Chairman Hassan Harnett. However, I do think it was more an influence of her mother, Joyce Cotton, who was the chair of District 2 on that. So, you know, Kim Cotton's one of those ones who generally is a good person in the North Carolina Republican Party, but unfortunately sometimes we get this family and friends kind of influence, peer pressure, even though her mom is obviously a lot older than Kim, you know, peer pressure kind of thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and...
The chair thanks. Okay. Take back all those chairs. The chair heard 360. The number is in fact 316, with 316 delegates present in the convention hall. Quorum is not present.
Oh no! I mean, you know, we think we have quorum, and then we don't. It's like, oh, geez.
Business will not continue. Before anyone moves, however, we do have a couple of announcements to make. All remaining business will be forwarded to the Executive Committee for consideration tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, the Executive Committee meets at 11:30 a.m. in the ball. Where's the ball? Where's that? Okay, in the same room where the lunches and dinners and receptions have been, the ballroom there, the meeting room where the dinners and lunches and so forth have been. Do we have any further announcements before we adjourn for the day? Yes.
Motion to suspend the rules until the matter at hand is finished, and then...
Without a quorum present, no motion is in order at this time. Chair thanks the gentleman for his effort.
Yes, good. That was Harvey West, Kim Cotton West's husband, and I want to say Harvey. Very good effort on that one, trying to continue business. Good effort.
The chair also thanks the 316 delegates who remained for their good faith effort as conducting the business of the party. The chair is grateful for the way in which this convention has conducted itself this weekend. Give yourself a hand again for spirited debate, but the quorum, even in the midst of that, it's been a pleasure. There is a dinner tonight at 7.
I mean, it's like...
Stop it,
Okay, well, that is the 2014 North Carolina Republican Party Convention and my personal commentary. I do want to thank Bobby Coggins of Macon Media for providing the video on YouTube and in the audio on YouTube for me to use in this broadcast for that. Don't want to forget that. Bobby Coggins, thank you very much. So now in my next video, I'm going to talk to you about what happened at the Executive Committee meeting the next morning. I am the Conservative Pelican, signing off for now.